So Derrick Rose has had himself 2 straight interesting performances for the T-Wolves against the Houston Rockets in this round 1 series, as he's had back-to-back 17-point games, and I think he's been doing some things that show he could still be a decent piece of an NBA team, probably as a backup point guard. The biggest thing being he's getting into the teeth of the defense and either finishing at the rim or he's making plays for his teammates. So let's dive into this. The biggest thing that I think Derrick Rose can do at this point in his career is basically this right here, which is get ahead of steam, going to the rim, and using the thing that he is still pretty decent at, which is speed with the ball, crossovers, creativity around the basket. And you see that he's grabbing a lot of these off of rebounds and then he's taking it himself without making a pass or anything. That might be something that he wants to take advantage of more to make up for his lost athleticism and all that. As for his shooting, I mean, he's been making some shots in with the T-Wolves, no doubt, and I do think the mid-range game still has value, mainly if the defense has to respect your ability to drive to the rim. So once again, if Derrick just wants to barrel his way down there, that'd be cool. He's also been pretty decent from 3 in this series. I don't know. I mean, it would be awesome if he could make these consistently, at least from the corner on open shots, but I mean, the guy hasn't been a good 3-point shooter for pretty much his entire career. He's always been under league average from there. So that would be huge, but I'm not going to hold my expectations too high on that one. Once again, I think his bread and butter should be just attacking the basket anytime that he can. He can also make plays for others, and that's a big thing about getting into the teeth of the defense is they draw help, and then as a result, you get guys open. And of course, if you want to make passes in the fast break and all that as well, I think Derrick Rose is showing some pretty okay signs. And I think what can be a comparison now is if we look at some of the other backup point guards in the NBA who have been able to make an impact, see if Derrick Rose can do something similar to them. First one I want to talk about is Fred VanVleet of the Toronto Raptors, who was kind of like the main piece of their bench unit, which was one of the best lineups in the NBA this season. I mean, a big thing with VanVleet to me, I mean, he's a better 3-point shooter than Derrick probably ever will be. He's not as good at attacking, I would say, or he doesn't have the potential to attack as well as Rose can. But the other thing with VanVleet is that he's willing to just play within that Raptors offense. I think he's a really smart player where even when he chooses to be more aggressive, it's like off of a switch. He won't commandeer the offense for himself, and he's okay with sometimes only putting up like 6 points and 3 assists because it makes the team better. It would be smart for Derrick Rose to take on that mentality a bit. Another one we can look at is Shabazz Napier, who I think is maybe a little more similar to Rose just because I think he has more burst than maybe your average backup point guard does, to where he can beat defenders in one-on-ones, which is similar to Rose. I do think Napier's got a better 3-point shot. But I'd say a decent amount of his improvement has come from just attacking the basket and being better at it, which we all know Derrick Rose can do already. 2 more interesting players who I think can draw a lot of comparisons here. The first one is Ish Smith, and the second one is actually Tony Parker. Now, while Tony has been able to make up for lost athleticism better than Derrick Rose has, I think he and Ish Smith are pretty interesting because they're both reliant on getting inside the 3-point line and making things happen, because neither one of them are going to kill you with their 3-point shots, right? Similar to Derrick Rose. Both of these guys are quality pick-and-roll players, which if Derrick is going to continue this of just attacking the defense all the time and not really messing around from mid-range as much, then we could see similar things to what you're seeing right now. It's definitely possible for a backup point guard, an occasional starter, to get by without a jump shot if you're just constantly putting pressure on the defense. You know, that's the biggest thing. And I mean, from an athleticism standpoint, you could argue that Derrick Rose, I mean, he's definitely farther along than Tony Parker is, and in terms of speed, I think he matches Ish Smith. It's been a rough couple of years for Derrick Rose, you know? I think we saw some signs that he could still be a part of a good NBA team, probably coming off the bench. where he is hopefully with a good head coach who really knows how to use him and isn't going to just stick him in the corner, because I think he does need the ball in his hands. But if you just kind of commit to him, let him run some pick and roll offense, maybe the occasional isolation on some switches, I think D Rose can be a quality piece for a team, and we're seeing it in this round 1.